Well, it's Tuesday afternoon. We're in Matagorda. Come down here for a meeting this afternoon, and as you can see, yet another Kalima. We do seem to be stuck in this Kalima cycle at the moment. The upside is it's hot. It's about 27 degrees at the moment, which is much hotter than we would normally expect for this time of year. There's a binter coming into land. So the plan is to walk along the promenade, see if all the works along here have been finished, and to just take in life at this end of Puerto del Carmen. Big news this week is that in 2 days' time, on Thursday, we will no longer have to wear masks outside. Although, as I'm sure you'll see as we walk along, most people aren't bothering with that. So for most tourists, it's probably no change at all. Two of those scooters whizzing along there. That's the Beatriz Playa Hotel. You can see people swimming in the pool and chilling out on the sunbeds in there. There's quite funky music being played at the moment. We're now entering the area called Urbanización Matagorda. These are the Las Gaviotas bungalows, which come right down to the seafront, as you can see, and they're right next door to the Matagorda shopping centre, which we're just coming up to. Looks like a fairly high tide today. Don't tend to get many swimmers on this part of the beach, but when we get around to the next section, there will be swimmers. And we'll go all the way around to Los Pocillos as well. Oh, it smells good along here. Sirocco looks pretty busy, lots of people in there still. Time's 2:45, so it's the middle of the afternoon. I was going to show you the beach, but I don't want to film the topless lady down there to spare her blushes, and probably mine as well. Right, we're past her now. So there you go, lots of people enjoying the bit of surf we've got and cooling themselves down. There really is some heat in that sun. I can hardly believe it's February. Somebody asked me the other day about the tractor marks in the beaches down here, and basically a tractor comes along early morning every day with a kind of sieve thing, so it lifts the sand up and sieves any rubbish or rocks and stuff like that off the beach, so they always remain pristine. Good to see the sunbeds back on the beach here. We had news this week that Costa de Guise have finally put the sunbed out to contract. So they should be appearing on Costa de Guise's beaches in the next few weeks. Another aircraft coming in, that's a TUI from Cologne. I checked on flight radar before we got here. Peering out of the murk. Harbour Beach 5-star hotel. Right on the front here with a great view out to the ocean. And many readers will also know Aussie's Bar there, which I know is very popular. For those of you who haven't been for a couple of years, this promenade's been completely redone. It's so much nicer than it used to be if you're cycling, because the old version was made of bricks, so on a racing bike it would go da-dum, 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 da-dum while you're going along it. It's now properly tarmacked. I love this sculpture of a whale diving into the sea with its tail over the surf. And it's quite apt here because you do see whales during the migratory season swimming along here. I remember years ago we used to come down to this beach quite often, and we'd sit there and you'd spot the spouts offshore. At the back of the Haneos Playa Hotel, and just coming into the line of bars and restaurants in this section. Haven't been down here for a few months. Be interesting to see if anything's changed. We've got Power Walker with his sticks coming towards us. There's Devon. That is somewhere I hear mentioned a lot. Never been in myself. Quite like the umbrellas with the straw on top of them, or palm leaves. They look quite good. On Italica, which is Tipico Español Italiano. Seeing that Cabrera Medina sign reminds me that the matriarch of the company, Nieves Cabrera, died last week, sadly. She and her husband, he was a carpenter. I can't think of his name. Obviously his last name was Cabrera, but I can't think of his first name. Started Cabrera Medina in 1967. They only bought, he was a carpenter at the time, and they bought 5 Fiat 127s to rent them out to the few tourists that used to come to the island in the 1960s. And they built it up to the largest car hire company in the Canaries, one of the largest in Spain. They've got a fleet of 10,000 cars across the islands now. So it's sad that she went. She obviously hasn't been involved in the business for a few years, but was often wheeled out when the awards were being presented and the company was being recognised for its work. Another interesting sculpture along here. I don't know what this one's depicting. Nope, I can't figure that one out. Let's go on to Los Pocillos. Get a good view of the beach from here, from this side. See how big it is and how deep it is. It goes a long, long way back to the Costa Mar shopping centre there. And that's with high tide, as I said before. Quite a sheltered bay, although you do get a bit of breaking surf here, and there's a hopeful surfer waiting for the odd fifth wave that might be of a decent size. Most people chilling out and enjoying the sunbeds. From this angle you get a better idea of just how deep the beach is. Loads and loads of sand. And it's got a nice shower block and toilets at this end, which are sort of hidden in that volcanic stonework. And we walk round now to the front of the Hammerhouse Playa. See a couple of people figuring out how to operate the e-scooters. Just scan the QR code on the handlebars and then download the app, add a payment method, and away you go. And one of the things I wanted to see was El Robelo, which is a Manrique wind toy, which has had a full restoration and has come back. Only it's the first time I've seen it back. It's looking in really good shape. And we now have the two main wind toys of his back, this one and the one by the Fundación César Manrique. So with a final scan of Playa Los Pocillos, that brings us to the end of our little walking tour. I'm heading off for my meeting now. From a hot Matagorda, it really is warm at the moment, and I guess that's because there's blue sky above the Colima. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.